Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing.
That's full time. Tasting, tasting, tasting.
Hello. Hi.
Do we just start? Or first series that we are casting in the VS Championships bracket stage is an exciting one coming right at you with the a LoL team and Evo game, and I am very excited. I'm joined, of course, by my trusty partner, Alex Rymill, aka Roidzz. How are you feeling tonight, Roidzz?
Yeah, dude, I'm really excited to watch this game, to be honest. We've had some interesting games that have already been played this week, or that have been played yesterday, that we don't really have the time to talk on right now, but we'll get back to them. But I'm really excited to watch this game.
Yeah, already some upsets happening, and some interesting games to say the least. So I'm just hoping, we are in for another great, series. A two-game series is going to be interesting. Anything can happen in a two-game series. There's not that freedom to drop a game anymore, so you don't have that. It's like, okay, cool, we can just reverse sweep. If we lose game one, we have a bad read. Now it's like you win. If you lose a game now, that's points that you're not getting
Yeah,
which this whole dynamic kind of makes it a little harder, no?
to a certain point, I actually think I know we spoke about it on the discussion on Wednesday, but I thought about it since then, and groups have normally just been best of ones back in the day, from what I remember. I don't know if they've changed recently to best of threes, but groups always used to be best of ones. So best of two, now there's a chance for upset, but there's also a chance that you can kind of win one game back if you do lose one game. So that's not too bad at the end of the day. But I still think the more games the better, in my opinion. And I think the fact that it's not a best of three is actually a really cool thing because there's no like solid. Okay, we were the best team. It's a 1-1, and that's it. That's how it goes.
Yeah, it makes it, a little harder, but also better. So previously you looked at top teams and you're like, okay, cool. What happens if you get cheesed the game? And now all of a sudden you might not get a nice seed going out of groups, and all of a sudden you're facing like tournament favorites going out of groups. Now it's like, okay, cool. If you get cheesed one game, okay, that happens. You still have a can have another game. You still have another game to kind of claw back one win at least. So it's not just this 1-0 that you're losing. You know.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by one of the players' cats at the moment.
Well, talking about these so-called players, we are doing a nice little interview here with Not and Hard Rock. Not obviously from Evo, the captain of Evo, and Hard Rock, the captain, CEO, owner, whatever, all of those things for a LoL team. So welcome, welcome them in.
Hello.
Why you?
Sorry, I'm just looking for the competition here. I don't quite see it yet, but if I look
Yo.
long and hard enough,
Wait a
it should pop
second.
up.
All you have is banter. I mean.
Okay, so I knew you had something planned, but you had that ready way too quick. Now, you two obviously coming in here. Hard Rock, you someone who both of you have been the scene for a very, very long time. Not more so you, but Hard Rock, you, like I said earlier, came from. You're the only person who went from a caster and an analyst type person last year being on the analyst panel, and now all of a sudden you're a player. Usually that goes the other way around. Do you just all of a sudden discover your hands, or what happened?
Well, you say those who can't play teach, but those who can't teach play. So
You can't.
yeah, it's been quite a move. There was no one else to fill my spot, so I'm just a random fill. But I got this.
And you happy being in here. Your first game, you're getting thrown a little bit into the deep end, playing against a team that a lot of people consider, a top team,
No,
obviously, and they
you're
finished
mistaken, Spartan. Royalties on Sunday.
third. Oh, there's a lot of banter, Stephen. Anything? Not anything you have to say?
My cat finds it very funny. I don't know.
It wouldn't be South African League of Legends without a little bit of banter and a little bit of cringe. It makes it nice. So not with both of you actually, with coming into this now, the announcement that came out earlier today, Yon not being picked anymore, not being available, going back more to international standard, saying they haven't really tested enough on it, and it's not going to be played in the tournament. Does that affect either of you at all?
Well, we're pretty much scuffed. Our draft is completely ruined now, so we're just gonna YOLO pick and see what happens.
I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Apparently stream can't. But yeah, no.
Team is
I
trailing you.
mean, we're pretty much just gonna lock in random and then play with our toes.
Oh, you're twice. You're on the screen twice. I'm not on the screen. I just see now. It's fine. If people think I look like not, I don't mind that at all. You have,
This guy.
it will up my cred with the Eagles. I feel like,
Yo, I feel like there's a serious lacking of facial hair on my part of this channel right now. I mean, he's like it. Spartan,
Yo,
Spartan
gang.
Viper and Hard Rock, all of you, dude. Sure. Does the amount of hair on your face translate directly into skill in game? Because
yeah,
then,
each centimeter is a division.
okay, I understand.
And the more facial hair you have, the more roles you can play.
That is true. That is accurate. I can play everything because of my beard. I can't play any of them well, but I can play all of them. Now going into this matchup, you guys obviously saw the brackets and saw that, but something we didn't really have a lot of time to talk about with everyone is like the groups and how you feel like they aren't really, especially the group that you guys are in, there aren't a lot of room for mistakes. So moving forward, you guys like every game is very serious. So how are you feeling about having to go in? You can't even drop a game because that might mean that you end up in a 4th place position. We have to go up maybe in the next bracket into the likes of an 80k or something like that.
I'll give this one to Not.
Doesn't one team get eliminated though? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. So
So, I
only
mean-
the last team gets eliminated, but
Oh, so
like
then
you
we're
want to
not
be
too
top
worried.
4.
Well,
but
yeah, we'll be top 4 easily.
Yeah, but like if you get 4th, you're probably gonna face 80k or whoever is first seed in the like in upper bracket, no?
Yeah, but
I'm pretty
we won't
sure
get
that.
4th.
I mean,
Yeah, but like if you get G,
I mean, at the end of the
no,
day,
we don't get 4th. We don't get 4th here.
I don't know. Maybe just the confidence speaking. But I mean, if we do get 4th, I mean that'll be a first for me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I don't know.
But,
Like looking at the teams, it's like, is there competition? Is there talent?
Oh, shots are
I'm
being
coming into
You're
this
going
guns
out first.
blazing.
Number
You know
one.
what? They call it famous last words, but if you don't come in swinging every single arm, what's the point of even coming in? We're coming in here with full confidence. We're in here to win the entire event, and quite frankly, we don't see any competition going forward.
Okay, jeez. I mean,
Is that Dyrus 2012?
No, that is G2 Perks 2018.
Okay.
So, you actually picked, a LoL team kind of was in this lull in the middle of the year, this year, going to Split 2, and not really knowing what's going on. And now you picked up a lot of players that were features in the COVID Cup. Is that, you have another Doug, APC Top Hat, all of Alcatraz were heavily featured in the COVID Cup in Scouting Grounds. So,
I won't blame my previous teammates because I actually really like them. Pete's a really cool guy. But the move was necessary. We decided to halve the organization. They've got their meme team. We've got our meme team. We're looking forward to face, because if I do say there's a team I'm looking forward to play, it's definitely going to be XYZ. Just, get a nice little rivalry going there. But I think we've rebuilt quite nicely. Going back to 2018, there was one other team in the Premier spot called that One League team that faced off a League of Legends team. And they were the only team that actually gave us a challenge that year. So I went and picked the players from that One League team and put them in the League of Legends team.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, guys, but thank you for coming in for the pre-game. It's a little short, but obviously you guys have to get ready to go in. We wish you the best of luck on the Rift. I hope you get all the crits, and we'll see you in game. Good luck.
Good luck.
awesome. Please just don't leave Discord, guys. Just mute.
Yeah, otherwise you mess up everything again. Okay, perfect. So, I mean, we had to talk to the teams. Obviously, a League of Legends team very confident coming into this. Do you feel like that translates you being in a lot of finals and a lot of tournaments do you feel like that translates heavily, like the confidence into going into game, especially when they're not very favored going into the matchup?
I think you've always got to have a positive attitude. I think you've always got to come in and believe that you can do it. I don't think any team's ever gone into a tournament believing they're going to lose and then they miraculously won. So I definitely think that you definitely have to come in with the right attitude. And I think overconfidence is definitely a dangerous thing. But I think believing in yourself and kind of having that sort of like trash talky attitude is always a good thing as well. Like as long as you aren't overconfident and you're just confident in your own abilities, then I don't think there's a problem. And we can see that from both of the players from both of the teams at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go in with disrespect towards any of these teams are here for a reason. You know, none of these teams are here because their father bought the LARPA. You know, they're all here for a reason. So if you're gonna disrespect them, they're going to take games off you and potentially beat you. So you have to, take it serious and come in and actually do your work and do what you need to do. And it seems I'm just glad that the teams are confident. We can always count on Hard Rock to have a little meme time, so that's fun. But I'm just looking at maybe some form of disrespect that happened is yesterday there was a game in Group B between GG Black and Nebula, and on paper you're looking at it and you're like, okay, cool, GG Black, a favorite in the tournament, they should easily 2-0 this, but they ended up, dropping a game to Nebula. And even though Nebula, they took a lot of teams to long games and looked very good, you didn't really expect it. So, is there do you think that's something that's going to happen often, with especially it being BO2s?
Um, Look, I think a lot of upsets are going to happen this year. I'm not so worried about the top three teams that I've kind of put in the top three, being Evo, Royal, and 8K. I don't think they really need to worry. I think obviously they're going to Evo and Royal are going to meet each other, so someone's going to have to lose a game somewhere.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I think it's more below those three teams. There's a lot of potential for upsets, but I'm not 100% sure that those three top teams will drop unnecessary games. I think the fact that GG just lost the game proves that you need to be here with your A game, because that's just how it is.
Yeah, you definitely, you can't just come and mess around and think all of these games are free, because they're not going to be. We're almost ready to jump into this game. Before we get into it, what's your prediction? I need to What do you think is going to happen? A LoL team, on paper, they're weaker versus Evo. Evo mainly being diamond, a LoL team being majority gold. What is your prediction? Are you just going to go for the
I
obvious, or?
I mean, I am gonna go for the obvious, even though I know Evo are missing a couple of their players. I'm gonna still look at it as, what, the players that are on this team and are currently present are still some of the most pub stompy sort of players. I think Steven Knott and Pitar are quite even special in the top lane. They're all very very punishing players if you are not a very strong player. And I do think that if you come into this game with sort of a little bit of weakness, they will exploit it. So I definitely think that they will be walking away with this win, especially considering the fact that I did put them down as one of the teams to watch because of the amount of cheese that can come out. And I mean, just knowing that Steven Knott's going to be in the jungle, I mean, I'm expecting to see some serious aggression coming out in the jungle from the beginning of the game.
Yeah, another dog really has to watch out for that. So hopefully, if you're a LoL team, you're planning around this, okay? You're gonna relentless, non-stop aggression from from the likes of Jornal. Jornal also someone who plays very lane focused, So you're gonna look at these people and be like, okay, cool. They're gonna come at us swinging. They're not gonna just sit back and wait for something to happen. So they're gonna come and try and kill us. So what we need to do is pick stuff that can punish them for coming into our jungle, for coming into territory where they don't belong. I'm expecting stuff that can get prio from a LoL team. If they can get prio in mid, you can punish not for walking into your jungle, for trying to come and mess with you. So I'm very, very excited to see what a LoL team brings out, because Hard Rock, like we said previously, um, was an analyst and stuff on previous casts. So maybe there's something that he knows or that he has thought of that can maybe catch Evo of God. But if you look at it straight up, just rank wise, a LoL team is a little outclassed here just purely on ranks. So let's hope they can pull something out.
Yeah. And I do believe all the players are in the lobby right now, so I do think we should be able to switch over in the next couple of minutes or the next couple of seconds. Um, just got to give them the go ahead.
Yep.
But no, I'm really, really excited for that. For those of you that are just joining us now, this is the first game that we are going to be casting, between Evo Gaming and a League of Legends team. In the top lane for Evo, we've got Special. In the jungle, we've got Not. In the mid lane, we've got Jonal. In the bot lane, we've got Pitar and a name that I am not even going to try and pronounce, sadly.
Aishenshin.
Aishenshin.
I think that's
not
close enough.
Yeah,
We've got to let us know that.
yeah, and then
Throw my goal,
on
please.
a League of Legends team, we do have Top Hat in the top lane. We've got another Doug. We've got Alcatraz in the mid lane. Butter Toast in the bot lane with Hard Rock on support. We do see bans coming out very, very fast. We've got Mr.
Quick,
Knot.
they know.
Yeah, Mr. Knot's Wukong taken off the board straight away. We've got Malphite. We've got Volibear, Set, and Ash all being taken away. A lot of focus on what I think is sort of like the jungle position.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Caitlyn first pick. They set it up perfectly. You ban the Ash, you first pick the Caitlyn. That's classic B1 strategy. We're not an LPL, they're not going to be one, something like a Renekton or something. But yeah, heavily. Okay, they are picking very fast. Clearly, these teams are ready. They knew what was going to happen. So hopefully, they, they stress. Oh, it just looks like a protector Cogmore straight off the bat.
I was just about to
Cogmore.
say, I'm not going to be surprised if we see a Galio takeaway here coming out from Jonal. I'm a bit concerned as to why we'd be locking in the Thresh straight away and not looking for potentially a Jarvan or potentially a jungle pickup just so that we can find something to kind of assassinate the Cogmore. I know Cogmore is particularly weak against things like Jarvan and things that can kind of lock him up and keep him pinned down in a small amount of area. And I don't think Siobhan is exactly the best pick to deal with a Cogmore Lulu sort of comp.
Yeah, you have an AP Shyvana probably, and then a Vigar pick. These are very strange picks, Evo going for a Thresh when you already see the Lulu, instead of picking, maybe even, picking a Jarvan or a Jarvan with a Galio. Picking up pieces of a comp, excuse me. and then they just pick up Vigar. Seeing a mid lane pick this early just shows how heavily a LoL team is prioritizing Alcatraz and making sure that he doesn't get, swept under. Now, and you could even have used the Cogmore as a mid laner. A lot of people have been playing at mid, AP mid. But, now picking the Vigar, everyone's like, cool, that's going bot lane, we don't have to worry. And we see the jungle pinch coming in from Evo, seeing as they're already locked in their jungle.
Yeah, look, I actually think the first 3 picks coming out of a League of Legends team is actually really, really good. I like the fact that you've already now got your Cogmore and your Lulu and you're trying to set up a zone control. Vega's an amazing control mage. He's incredibly good at sort of setting up these areas where you cannot walk in and cannot walk out. And I'm also very interested as to why the Thresh pick was taken at the end of the day. Just because something like Morgana, something that can sort of auto-shove the wave and that can deal damage from a distance, I think is technically a good pick against this sort of comp. Just because, most Cogmore comps are not comps that run at you, even though they now have a Hecarim somehow. But, ooh, there's some really spicy picks coming out now.
Okay. This is, Jordan Owl, very well known for his Vladimir play. Played in the top lane a bunch back when he was in ATG Southside. Very, very well known for him, and he's very comfortable on it. Cookie or Evo Special, also very well known for all Malphite, stuff like that, tanks, And, we just straight up see protect the Cogma comp from a League of Legends team, and a heavily just a good comp coming out from Evo. You know, I'm not very sure about the Shyvana and the Vlad. They are kind of out of place, but like other than that, they, you know, it's a strong team. If they get at all ahead, like how do you get back in this game?
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think Evo's comp is very, very, very good at running you over if they get ahead. But I also feel like, to a large extent, I really think a League of Legends team kind of won out on this draft entirely. Like, I'm looking at a team comp where, apart from maybe a Death Sentence and Ornn, there isn't a lot of CC like that allows you to kind of catch out the cog and lock up the cog and stop him from doing damage. I feel like I can understand Evo coming from a sense of saying that, look, Pitar's been one of our star players. He was one of our star players when he was part of GG. He's just gonna pick this lane dominant champion with another support with a Thresh that can then catch out. We're gonna dominate the lane and get far enough ahead that your Cogmore doesn't really matter. And I mean Vlad as well, just sitting scaling, does have the potential to. I know a lot of people don't really think of Vlad as a burst mage, but has a lot of potential to do a lot of damage to the backline if he can get onto the backline in this game. But there
Yeah,
is a lot of peel and a lot of CC coming out of a League of Legends team, and I really think if they execute their team fights, it's a lot easier to do. I mean, you can stand united on the Shekarim, on the Shekarim. Wow, on the Hecarim. That's actually like that's the combo's name
Chakram
already.
is
The
Lilia.
Shekarim is coming, dude. The Shekarim is coming. You've got the
Listen,
Shen and the Hecarim diving on the Caitlyn every single fight, and although Kog'Maw, you'd say that that the rest of the team, the Veigar, the Lulu, um, and the Kog'Maw might struggle to deal with, the AP Shyvana, which I assume we're going to see,
yeah,
and the Vlad. But at the same time, they can still set up great zone control. Vega can put down his cage, and they can kite around the cage and play around those cooldowns, hopefully. But Kog'Maw needs to be careful, because if there is a flash coming out of a Vlad, followed up by a Shyvana empowered E, oh, dude, that's a lot of damage to be taking on a little Kog'Maw.
yeah. I mean, you have the Lulu and you have the Shin, like you said. So they're heavily gonna be like, okay, Kog'Maw, we're gonna keep you around. But they also have the engage of the Hecarim and zone control of the Veigar. Now, I'm looking at Evo's team, and it's not really a team you want to run into. So yes, okay, cool, you have the Hecarim, fair, but now your Hecarim is running into Caitlyn's, into Threshers, into Ornn, you know, and it just makes them be. If you engage first as Hecarim and you die, it just makes it so easy for Evo to be like, cool, you just used your engage. Now I'm gonna Ornn ult, and you can't run away. You know, so if I do like a LoL teams draft, I do. It's a very good draft, but I would um like Evo's draft way more if it wasn't Morgana like you with Caitlyn, a very lane dominant. You get hit by Dark Binding, you're basically dead. Your lane is over. You like it's not fun.
Yeah.
So I'm just like maybe Evo is like okay cool. We are a higher elo. We have better laners, so we're just gonna lane kingdom, pick stuff that have prio, and you're gonna have to deal with it. You know, except for top lane, they literally have like pretty lane kingdom heavy things everywhere else. Vlad takes a little bit of time, but as soon as he hits that Hextech GLP, then he should be fine in mid lane, and he can just outstain Veigar. You know, so yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. It's got clearly it's just easier to pull off. But you know, there's a lot of experience on the side of Evo, so we'll see if they can be able to do anything about it.
I don't entirely believe that a League of Legends team is their team comp is that much easier to pull off. I kind of feel like Evo's team comp kind of just relies on three champions diving in on the backline and Caitlyn just kind of staying alive and doing damage and kind of killing the front line as she goes. But I do think a League of Legends team, like, if it's coordinated properly and Vlad doesn't get too far ahead in this game, then I do really believe that there is like an argument to say that they can walk away with a win in this game, because like I said, the Shekarim is going to be running at the Caitlyn every single game. Shen
Yeah.
Hecarim every single team fight. I feel like if the other three can deal with Vlad and kind of like shut him down, or make sure that he doesn't necessarily just one shot the Cogmore, then there is a high possibility that a LoL team can actually take this game, but it's all going to come down to how far ahead the Hecarim can get in the early game. And I feel like with not playing Shyvana, he's going to be looking to invade regularly. So we really need to see a League of Legends team coming out and setting up a front line where they can defend their jungler at the beginning of the game, because Hecarim is notoriously weak early.
Yeah. And I
I'm
mean,
not
if you
entirely.
look at if you
Okay.
look at the draft as well, if you look at the comps, like Evo should have bot lane prio permanently. Mid lane, okay, that is more favored towards the Veigar. I think I'm pretty sure as soon as he has lots chapter, he can perma shove. And but that means they can play heavily around dragons. Obviously, Shyvana has an increased damage on dragons, and what you're looking to do as an AP Shyvana is just farm up when your ult is up. Then you look to gank, try and get some of those dark harvest stacks. If you could get some free ones here and there, but you're gonna want to
Oh,
play around your around dragons and objectives. So yeah,
Top might be forced to flash away here. The death sentence does
how
land
did you
onto
play?
him, and he's gonna get taken very low. Ignite's still ticking. That's gonna be first blood going across over to the Thresh. And
Okay, wait. We have to sync up. At what time are you?
oh, are we not synced? I'm at 120. Hold on, I just turned off my time controls. I'm gonna pause at
I
125. You let me know when we're all at
okay.
125.
No, because I don't think you saw the chat. Because Kyle said we must wait for him.
Oh snap! I'm
Okay,
so
so it
sorry.
was
I
an
just
invading
total
the top side.
spoiler. Total spoiler. I was wondering why you were talking so long.
Oh yeah, because
I was like,
I was paused.
he's still talking while they're walking at the Shen. I'm like, should I not? Should I start talking? Should I not talk?
Hey, happens. Okay, I'm paused at 120 as well, Kyle. Kyle is being he's observing and everything, guys. So you know,
I'm totally so used to streaming when I cast normally, so it's like,
yeah. Same. I just happened to see the message. So okay, cool. I'm paused at 120. Okay. Now everyone picked up an assist. Thresh getting the kill, not ideal. You know, but yeah, it's not bad.
hmm.
Okay, can we count down? Okay.
Wait, wait, wait,
I'm
wait,
gonna.
wait, 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 whoa, 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 no counting down.
Are you
Kyle,
not
you
at
might
120?
be in the wrong scene, by the way, because we
Yeah.
can't see the game on stream. Total spoiler. Let's hide my girlfriend in the background there. But
You know,
no one can see you anyway, I don't think.
guys. Sorry for the thing. Are we on one? Are you on 120, Kyle?
Well, we can go back. We can just redo.
We can go back to 0. Okay, you're at 120. Okay.
If he's at
Okay.
120, I think we should probably go back so that the stream can actually see what just went down.
Okay.
So
You guys just want to go back to like
I'm gonna go back to 40 seconds and we'll go from there.
okay 46.
Cool, I'm at 40.
I'm at 42. Kyle, let us know in chat when you're at 40. Mackie, Brandon, everyone, will be there now. Okay.
Yes. Okay, cool.
Okay. I'll count us in. On
Ye-
go. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. So we see top side invade from Evo. Okay. They expected the bot side stuff, and they're just gonna walk around. No one is covering. They use 2 wards. Okay. So they just catch the Shen here. Oh, he sees him.
He sees them, but I don't know why he didn't flash. I don't think he saw the Thresh coming. So we see the death sentence is gonna land
Oh,
here
Shen.
and just instantly.
Just ignite. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It's
Well,
also
that's
really
just blood.
bad.
You know, that's no blood.
Yeah. It's also really bad for Alcatraz in the mid lane as well, being forced back this early. I think he's gonna be forced to expend his teleport right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now his lane is kind of messed up because he's gonna hit level 2 late now, and that just makes things way harder in this lane for him. If Vlad gets prio against a Veigar, it's just gonna be very hard.
Yeah, he's also choosing to walk back to his lane, which I think is a little bit of a mistake. Even though he would have to sacrifice that early teleport, I think being behind the Vlad early is not going to be a fun time on any level for the Vega, even if you do just want to sit back and kind of stack up your queue.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like he could have blown TP there.
ooh,
Oh,
they're
fight a bot
running
lane.
onto the Lulu. They're getting taken down to at least half HP. A little bit of trade back. Directed camera just never liked bot lane for us. I don't understand.
Yeah, every time we start to see a fight, he's like, no, no one's gonna die here. It's fine. And looking at ruins, we see stock standard stuff. It is a glacial augment Vigar, so he's gonna take up a lot of space. Okay, nice little trade there from APC Top Hat. But he's gonna take up a lot of real estate just on the map, being able to have that slows and stuff like that, and making it hard for you to be able to navigate it fight. And you know that's going to be very interesting just to see how he zone controls everyone.
Yeah, look, Vegas. I think he's gonna definitely go for that Hextech GLP first. I'm not the biggest fan of that build. We do see a little bit of aggression coming out. They're gonna see if they can get onto the Vladimir, but he's just gonna pull away. Another Doug gonna get taken pretty low as well. I thought there was a bit more of a trade coming through there, but clearly it didn't happen. Alright. I do think Hextech GLP will probably be built here. It's not exactly my favorite item on Vega, just because I'd much rather build. I'd much rather go for something stacking, especially or scaling, especially with a team like this, and then look to sort of get like maybe the spooky ghost or something, so you have a much wider range kind of a thing to slow down the engage. Because I do feel like GLP does do the same thing, but I'm a big fan of spooky ghosts on.
Well, won't you just go both and then just they have both like options? You know, you can scout with your spooky ghost, and you can have that team fight prowess with your Hextech GLP, making sure that you get the cage hit and you can hit a full combo on the likes of, you know, a Caitlyn. Maybe not a Caitlyn, you won't really get to her, but like a Shyvana or something. Because AP Shyvana is still pretty squishy, you know, and can be popped.
No, I do agree with you. I don't think there's ever really a reason to go both. Just because you're going to be missing out on either HP or key magic pen that you'll need later in the game. But I mean, it's all preference. I'm pretty sure GLP is still a good option,
Yeah.
but I do feel like there is, because of the way the early lane went and the fact that Vega is behind, I wouldn't be surprised if he saves up enough money just to get a tier and then backs and then looks to teleport back into lane and rush the Seraphs rather than anything else, because I think having that shield in lane will make a massive difference to him, especially against the Vlad.
Yeah, and you see he caught up a little bit. Alcatraz obviously a person to watch out for here in this game, being a very highly rated player. Previously was Diamond, and now at the moment he's Gold, I think. So he did D-rank, but maybe that's just him swapping roles, because I'm pretty sure he used to be a top laner. But, you know, he is a player to watch out for. And Evo Special spotting another Doug here. If he's not careful, he might die. Oh! The Orn clap.
Very clean. The Orn clap coming through. Evo Special really needing. Oh, here comes a taunt coming through from Top Hat. Don't know if he's going to be able to pick this up. The Orn doesn't have flash. Oh, I think Top Hat just using that blasting plant a little bit too early. Actually, just totally outplayed himself there.
Yeah, he tried to be too big brain there. I think you save your flash, and you just try and flash if he goes to the blasting cone there, and you just hit the blasting cone with him. But you know, he tried to be big brain for the stream, and unfortunately, kind of trolled himself.
I think the idea was right. I think that player would have been successful if he had just waited for the Orn to actually land on the blasting plant or popping plant.
He could have just also waited.
You see another Doug coming in again. Get on the Caitlyn. Sorry, I almost died.
Dead.
TP is coming in. A double TP coming in. Triple TP
everyone.
Death Sentence lands onto the Hecarim. Hecarim's getting taken really low. He's been ignited. Meanwhile, we see the Vlad going a little bit deep, but everyone's still alive somehow, and I don't really know what's going on here, but very scrappy team fight. I think that ended up being a 5-on-5 because the Stand United came out as well.
I think the only person who wasn't there was Shyvana. She's gonna go pick up top wave. But that was just like everyone pressing D or F, wherever it is on the keyboard, and just be like, okay, let's party in the bot lane, you know, and that was crazy. I just kept on seeing teleports, and nothing even happened.
Oh, I can't believe that. I also just noticed one thing interesting, like, very, very, very confident sort of Cogmore build path, opting to go Cull first instead of D-Blade. Very, very surprising from my own personal opinion, and I mean he is down 20 CS, so I'm hoping that Cull kind of works out for him in the end. I think maybe it'll help sort of level the difference, the gap that you're seeing build between the Caitlyn. Meanwhile, we do see Alcatraz forced to flash away. Death Sentence not going to land. Does land an amazing cage, gets flayed backwards, and Vlad just going to go straight
just
underneath
dead.
the Vigar cage. And yeah, you know, you hate to see it. Being a former Vega player, I really loathe playing against Vladimir because he is one champion that sadly you cannot zone.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird, you know, everyone knowing that that Jornal is a very well-known Vlad player. He played it in top lane. He played it almost religiously, and you're picking yourself into a counter pick. Because if you remember, the Vega was picked third on R3, so that's kind of a yikes from them. I don't know if they just forgot that Jornal plays that, or they just didn't feel like it's worthy of a ban. But I mean, if you're picking a mid laner blind that early, you kind of want it to be something that you can deal with, no?
I don't think it's terrible. I think what they did was they're strictly looking to pick Vega just for the team comp that they wanted to play, just to create, like I said, another zone there. And we saw how well the Vega sort of worked out in that fight previously as well when they went into the bot lane. He managed to get the cage down. He stopped a lot of the engage, got a lot of stuns off on the players that were TPing in. So I don't think it's entirely bad. I just think he's going to need a little bit of attention in this lane. I do think that Vlad will have a tendency to take over the game. Meanwhile, we see a lot of action happening in the bot lane. Cosmo forced to flash away. The Death Sentence might land onto Hot Rock. Ooh, another TP, but the TP was actually cancelled by the Ornn, and Patar's now stuck in between another Dug and a hard place, and not actually sniping out. Wow, just everybody just getting absolutely destroyed there.
Hot Rock barely living as well, basically dead as in bot lane from the Caitlyn head, or not headshot, the ultimate. That shit is crazy. You know, they were just like, cool, you want to gank bot lane? No, we are ganking bot lane. And they just full on commit again bot lane, and that just came up Evo. You know, it looked like it might have gone the LoL team's way, and all of a sudden you just see, okay, cool, no, this is all Evo. And, you know, very well done from Special, not having the TP up, cancelling the Shen TP, because that might have been able to turn the fight, but he just wasn't in a to do it.
Ooh, we do see Janelle getting stuck in the baby cage, but not gonna... Ooh, taking a lot of damage. It might be ultied by the Vega. Does use the pool to get away. Vlad is just such a frustrating thing to play against as Vega. But I feel like Alcatraz still, even though he got ganked, still holding his own. Only 20 CS down. You do normally expect Vega to go down in CS in this matchup. But, I mean, I think Vega does tend to scale a little bit harder than Vlad. But the only argument is that Vlad can probably still kill your whole entire team.
Yeah, and you're kind of seeing like the rank difference, because it's okay 5-1 in kills. Oh, gank mid.
Stan United comes out. Alcatraz getting taken very low. Death Sentence not landing. Yonel actually ends up falling.
Are you dying? Galcast, okay, they do end up picking up Jornal, walking up a little bit too much. And the Ikram is just like, no, I'm a big boy pony, and I'm gonna run over you. You know, that was very good. Roidzz, are you alive? Are you living?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Has the corona gotten to you?
I feel like I just swallowed a mosquito. Worst moment ever. But they will be translating this into a Drake. I don't think the trade between Evo and between Evo and Special, the trade between Top Hat and Special is really gonna need a mention there. But although they did get the dragon, they are going to lose the top lane tower, and that is just going to be more gold going across over to Patar, who's already managed to almost get a 2k gold advantage by 11 minutes. That I cannot stress how massive that is as a lead.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, firstly, he's double the CS of the Cogmo right now. You know, Cogmo's saying, cool, we don't really want to fight you, we just want to scale, but they're taking a little bit too far. You know, you can't be this far down in this matchup. Even though there were a lot of fights and stuff bot lane. Ooh, fights in top lane, good her.
Proc in time. They're looking to see if they can turn around the Thresh, but he's not going to be able to get taken away. Buttertoe's trying to pick the fight with the Caitlyn. I don't think he really wants to take the fight with the Caitlyn at the moment, because she is 2 levels above him. Oh, meanwhile, we do see Not jumping in, trying to get a little snipe going there. Wild Growth does come up. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, another trade. I really don't understand why Directed Camera just loves these
Yeah.
two top laners.
It's like we want to see you watch some wet noodle fight bot lane from top laners.
Oh, there's
It's
still
crazy.
more action happening in the top lane.
Yeah, and you're starting to see not get to that point where he's literally hitting people for half HP. And that's the scary part. Like, he wasn't being punished. You didn't get prior. You know, it just felt like it has been downhill, you know, for a LoL team from the get-go, from them losing first blood. You know, it's only a 3 kill difference, but it is a massive 7k difference in gold. And you're looking all across the board, except for top lane, it's a 40 CS lead for Not. It's a 40 CS lead for Janelle. It's a 60 CS lead for Patar. Almost 70, you know, and a 5 CS lead for the Thresh. You know, it's just the CS leads is what's killing them at the moment. It's not the kills. It's the CS lead and the fact that they got 2 towers worth of, you know, that's 5 plates each plus 3 plates in the mid lane. That's all gold just stacking up, and that is being translated in items. Caitlyn already sitting IE plus Zeal, and you know, this poor little Cogmore doesn't even have Borkin.
Yeah, and I really like what Evo are looking to do now. They're now going to send the Caitlyn into the mid lane. I think they're going to leave the Caitlyn into the mid lane and just let Vladimir sort of take over the side lane, because right at this point in the game, there is no one that can really answer Vladimir in a side lane, especially with the fact that the Shyvana is already rolling and is this far enough ahead of the Hecarim that Cogmore can't feel safe in a side lane. The Viger can't feel safe in a side lane. Although
Yep.
Shen has been doing really well to keep up in CS, actually to be ahead in CS at the moment, there's just sending your Cogmore alone against the Vladimir in order so that he can get some farm to catch up to this, like, Caitlyn that's 30 CS away from Flame Horizoning at 14 minutes.
Yeah, it's crazy, and they walk mid and they get another tower. I mean, it's literally Caitlyn just walking around like gobbling up turrets. She started off bot, took bot tower, went top tower. She's like, guys, move out of the way mid. You are struggling getting mid tower. Let me just come and get it. And there's a fight in mid lane.
The Death Sentence lands
Oh.
onto another duck. He's getting taken very low, forced to ulti away. A flash coming out of Vega at the last minute as well. Meanwhile, Evo's special getting absolutely punished by Top Hat now. And we do see the Rift Herald coming down. Oh,
Direct-
what a flame breath coming out from Knots. And that's another turret going down. And this game is looking really, really rough.
100%. I mean,
and-
it's only 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes, and like Evo's knocking at the base, saying, "Hey, let us in. It's Friday. I want to go. Like, we want to end this." And you know, now if you're a LoL team, you're like, "Listen, can we stop the bleeding at all? We can't answer Jornal in the side lane. We can't answer their mid lane. You know, the only kind of hope we have, APC Top Hat doing well against Special, being a level up and being up, but like, that is, you're not going to win by your Shen being strong, you know, so they're in a very tough position, and right now they must just be being like, okay, cool, we need to stop the bleeding, hopefully they throw.
Yeah, apart from the throw right now, I don't really see another way of them getting back into this game. It's looking really rough. I think a League of Legends team, it got to a point where Caitlyn was already 20 CS or 30 CS above, and had already taken 3 turret plates on the bot side turret. And I think there's a potential argument to say that maybe they should have forced an early lane swap just to try and keep Cog in contention. But right now, Cog being this far behind, I feel like it must be said that because of the way they drafted, they really needed this Cogmore to obviously perform, just because they don't have an answer for the Caitlyn otherwise. Meanwhile, we do see Death Sentence landing
another
onto
hook.
a great wild growth comes up, but this is just too much damage, not getting
Yeah.
a flame breath down.
Oh, he's dead.
Cogmore just got not
Oh,
flash.
no, he's dead. What? Oh,
Hard Rock also getting taken low.
holy not.
And this is just
This is
Evo
just
just absolutely steamrolling right now. Jornal flashing in, seeing if he can pick up another Doug. Another Doug does try to sacrifice himself in order to save his Cogmore, but not gonna
No,
let the Cogmore escape.
Oh, this is.
just
Ooh!
looking-
Jornal gets him with Q,
definitely
100%.
get that- Oh, the
Huh?
chilling smites.
That it's crazy. Like, it's just right now it's Evo if saying, okay, if you walk out of your base, we will kill you. So either stay in your base and we will come find you, or if you walk out, you're just dead. You know, and it has to be said, Shrine Shin, Rabagal, correct me if I'm wrong, but looking clean on the thresh, not gonna lie, been hitting hooks left, right, and center, and it just kind of feels hopeless right now for a LoL team.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I'm watching one of those ARAMs where one team is just like got this amazing team and the other team really doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, that's just kind of the we do see Caitlyn getting
Ooh.
caught up. Are they going to be able to? Wow, that did literally no damage. It basically healed the Caitlyn.
And she's dead. Holy. Hard Rock dead again. Saying there is no he's looking for the competition. I think he just found them. You know,
Ooh.
that's, you know, you catch off an 80 carry and you're the one who dies. That has to feel bad. And, you know, looking at it, okay, cool. If you're a LoL team, you must be hoping they throw. But if you look at the names in their team, you know, they have not. They have Batar. These are people that have been in the scene and been playing competitive for a long time. So the odds of them throwing aren't very high. You know, they are people who are very composed, played in finals, played in big tournaments. You know, unless they just have a brain fart or all disconnect, I honestly don't know how a LoL team's getting back into.
I mean, if Zypherr would be just so kind as to press X on his keyboard for us, you'd notice that the Caitlyn is basically an entire Infinity's Edge above the Cogmore, just in gold right now. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you can see she is obviously an entire item up, but the gold differential across the board in every single lane except for the top lane is so immense that I don't see a way into this game unless, you know, unless like Buttered Toast and them manage to kind of hold out with this Cogmore pick. But the biggest argument for me as well is looking at it, I'm pretty sure this is going to be an Ocean Rift. Is it an Ocean Soul? Ooh, we see Vladimir getting caught out. Hecarim does come in. I think, don't know if they want to pick this fight. Jonelle
Yeah.
might turn it around. Yo, that is scary, man. That is
And right now, you just don't see the damage on anyone right now. You know, there's like, how are you killing anyone of Evo when everyone's sitting on one item? You know, your Cogmore is sitting on only a Borg. Your mid lane is sitting on only a Hextech GLP. So, like, you're not gonna have them stand still long enough for you to be able to kill them.
yeah, ooh, Shen getting chunked
Ooh.
right now. Ooh, meanwhile we see a flash coming out from the Vega in the bot lane. We do see Ornn throwing out his ulti, looking to see if they can make a big death sentence. Not going to land, and I think this is going to be one of the final pushes. Shelly just destroying everything. Oh, not looking to see if he can get the snipe off there. Shelly getting
That's a lot of damage.
Dodge. Wow, this game is just looking so dire at the moment, and I think this might actually be the end. Let's see if Evo kind of have it in them. You know, we just see a flash coming out onto Batar. Batar's absolutely still alive somehow. He does eventually end up falling, but at what cost? Top Hat's gonna go down. They're looking to see if they can potentially turn it around. Jonelle does get the Vladimir ulti, and he is gonna go through. Gonna get onto Alcatraz. Alcatraz should fall very quickly, ignite onto the Vladimir, but they're losing their base right now. I don't
Let's just do whatever he
know how
wants.
they defend this.
That is crazy. There's literally.
Ooh, Jonelle getting taken very low. He is gonna
Is he
fall
gonna die?
here. Is this the turnaround? Cogmore looking
co-
for that whimsy.
Come back time.
Oh, Cogmore, get the split. Oh, Shyvana gonna one-shot the Cogmore. That's just clean as you like. Lantern just
Yeah.
waiting. A little bit of emote spam there from not.
Go.
The mastery
Not even
spam.
level 7. What a scrub. But that, you know, that just shows you. It's cool and everything to pick late game, but you need some early game insurance. And I think that a lot of team came into this like, cool, if we win bot lane, we win the game. And you saw them heavily prioritize playing around bot lane. You saw them like trying to gank bot lane, investing time and resources into getting this bot lane ahead. But Evo was just like, cool, we know you are going to do that, so we're just going to do the same. If you want to fight bot lane, we will fight bot lane, you know, and just never gave Buttered Toast any time to get ahead or get comfortable bot lane.
I mean, I kind of tend to disagree with you there. I kind of feel like a red side or a League of Legends team, whatever you want to say, just leaving the taunt, landing onto the cake,
Oh,
it's just gonna get out. I feel
good.
like a League of Legends team actually never really made a solid effort to get the bot lane going. Everything they did in this game was reactive. Evo forced all the plays in the bot lane. They're always looking to do something in the bot lane. And the Shen, Stand United, and all of those TPs, all of those instances were all reactive plays. We see Evo Special he just doesn't care
Yeah.
right now.
They can't kill him. No damage. But yeah, I agree. There was there's just a fight. They're just gonna end it right here.
Yeah, we're busy watching the Shyvana beat on top hat. That's not exactly the target they want to go for, but Patar just
Really
absolutely
did.
destroying them, and everybody
Oh,
else dying
everyone's
in the
dead.
teamfight.
Only that was very good. But yeah, they did try something. Okay, he gets one. Not
Now they
another
just
dog. At doing something there. But they did every time. It just felt like every time another dog showed up bot lane, he was already behind because Not was there. It's like Evo knew that what their game plan was, and was just a step ahead, and already being there. Maybe it is like a concerted effort from someone else, from them as well. But yeah, it's hard to say. That was, I don't know. It's hard to say. That was kind of stopped. That was kind of one-sided. Like there was some interesting fights in the bot lane. The one where it was basically a 5v5 and no one died. But yeah, Roidzz just fix your camera.
Oh, I got so excited that you guys don't want to look at the darkness in the
No,
void.
we want to look at your pretty oval face.
Oh,
You
man,
know,
turn my light on. Sorry, I was standing up and getting in the vibe of casting, and then
I'm also standing. I'm feeling good. That was a very hype first game. A lot of TPs, a lot of stuff happening everywhere, on the map, and I'm I'm excited for game two. Not gonna lie. I just want to grab the tournament code here. Do you still have it, Kyle? Oh
it's
not.
somewhere on the group.
Yeah, it is here. You guys were typing a lot. Here it is.
There we go.
Uh,
You can just
yeah,
send
I'll
it.
just invite you. But
Um,
that was crazy and a very. You have to. It has to be said, a very good game coming in from Evo. They looking ready and prepped. That's why they are one of the favorites for this tournament. It is. They are ready to go.
yeah, and when you're coming from a League of Legends side right now, I don't exactly know what you do or what changes you make, kind of to fix this situation. I feel like they came in with their 3 bans that they had in the previous game, giving away the Caitlyn for free on one of South Africa's. I know he's from playing from Croatia and he is an
Yeah.
international, but giving one of our best sort of talent and most talented bot laners, the strongest AD carry in the game at the moment by far, and banning the only counter and I mean Ashe was banned. You should know when the Ashe ban comes out, you got to ban the Caitlyn. Otherwise, what answer do you have? And I can kind of respect a League of Legends team sort of attitude to be like, okay, cool, we'll pick Kog'Maw, we'll scale, but
Yeah.
it just all fell apart. Everything just from the level one, it just felt like Evo had an answer to every single thing they did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. It
even
was
the
just
gank in
crazy.
the mid
They were
lane,
over them.
even the first gank in the mid lane, like, what are you gonna do to gank that Vladimir? You just give Vladimir lane kingdom, and he's just gonna run over your team at the end. And we saw that right at the end of the game. The Vlad just didn't care. Patar just didn't care.
Yeah, not at all. And like you said, it was kind of telegraphed the Caitlyn first pick. They Evo bans the Ashe, and they're like, okay, cool. Now they banned the one other strong AD carry. You should know that the Caitlyn's coming in. So I don't know if a LoL team didn't realize, or they just prepped in a different way, or they were just like maybe they don't pick the Caitlyn. But if you're a LoL team, if you see the Ashe ban, you should be banning Caitlyn. You know, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some Vlad bans being pulled in here as well. I don't know. What are you thinking? If you were in a LoL team's position right now, would you take away the Vlad?
I definitely think I would find either take away the Vlad or definitely pick my mid laner much later, potentially, especially now that, or it depends which side they choose. I mean, a League of Legends team could now decide to rather go in as the second pick again. Then that if they do go in as second pick, obviously you don't exactly get to dictate which bans you really want. The only thing I will have to point out is the fact that I do also feel like Evo sort of I don't think they'll even mind giving up the Caitlyn. after the
Yeah.
performance we just saw. Like, I wouldn't put it past Patar picking something like Ez or something like Lucian that he's so proficient on, and just literally like running it down that lane straight at the Caitlyn 24/7. And I don't mean running it down as in like feeding.
That's feeding, yeah.
I definitely mean like just taking the fight to the Caitlyn and just on an individual level just outperforming the bot lane. And I don't see that being a problem for Patar if he really has to try. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
no, definitely. I think that Patar and the whole Evo side are feeling pretty confident right now, saying, listen, it doesn't really matter what we draft. So if they do ban the Ash and try and do the Ash Caitlyn thing that the previous team did, that they might, just be like, whatever, we just pick, like you said, a Lucian, whatever, Tristana is available, Kai'Sa can be played. There's even 200 years of Philios that you can pick. There's a lot of stuff available. And if you're the stronger bot lane compared, to the bot lane you're playing against, then obviously you're going to feel very comfortable doing that. You don't mind having a little worse matchup because you probably feel like you can play them. So I'm very interested to see what a LoL team's going to do about this, about the previous game. Are they just going to be able to get it out of their head and be like, okay, cool, it's a new game, whatever, new draft. Let's try and get ourselves something that we're comfortable on, because that's what I want to see from a LoL team. This Vigar third was very confusing. I do not like it that early.
I also think, like, if you want to play against a team like Evo, I do agree with the fact that they went Cogmore, they went something unorthodox and sort of out there. I do think you have to pull something sort of, that isn't the normal and isn't the standard. You don't want to try and match a top team, like player for player, picking standard
Yeah.
picks. I don't think that's ever going to work out for you because the skill gap is so big. But I definitely think one thing you should focus on is taking away sort of those super dominant picks and just making sure that there isn't a hard counter to sort of to what you want to pull out. I really feel like picking Cogmore into Caitlyn is, yes, it's a really cool idea, but you don't want to pick Cogmore, Shen, and Vigar and Hecarim. So okay, cool. So we're stocking up on all of our scaling, every single champion that is scaling. You're like really waiting, and you give up your early game, and you have to face the one champion that, if she gets a good early game, takes over the game. But if she has a bad early game, her mid game is very sort of overrated. Like, I don't feel like Caitlyn mid game is very good unless she starts off really strong. So I really feel like they definitely need to sort of tighten up the draft and find another answer to what Evo have. But right now, I do really think that a League of Legends team sort of had the right idea. I just think some of the tools were just not exactly the right one. Like they needed a hammer and someone gave them a screwdriver, and I was like, yeah. It could have worked out if they could have stopped the bleeding. I really do believe that comp could have worked if they stopped the bleeding. But
I mean, it was just so hard to stop the bleeding when you're getting out rotated everywhere across the map. I'm just hoping to see them picking stuff that are comfort. I'll be very surprised if Caitlyn and just Caitlyn gets through the bans, and or not the combination of both. Or I'll be very surprised if Vlad goes through. I don't see them leaving up Vlad again. But Vlad wasn't the only problem. It's just so hard to deal with, and Journal is so proficient on the champion. You don't just want to give him like Lane Kingdom. He has a lot of games, competitive games as well, on Vlad. So you don't really want to put him on that and say, cool, run a muck and do whatever the hell you want, Because you even saw how hard it was for them to gank him and do anything.
no, I do agree with you. I think it just feels like I keep moving like lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. My camera just won't stay. I think it's just slowly falling. I do think that giving them those two champions, the Vladimir and the Caitlyn, is quite a big mistake, in my honest opinion. And I also think I'm not so upset about the Vigar third pick. I don't think that's the worst thing, but I do
I
think
don't like
picking Kog'Maw Lulu at the same time is super unnecessary. The chances of them playing Caitlyn Lulu, Caitlyn Lulu would be very oppressive, I can agree, but then you could always swap out the Lulu on the other side and pick a Morgana for the Kog'Maw. You could also pick a Janna to keep the Kog'Maw super safe. You know, there are other options, but instead you pick Kog'Maw Lulu. You force yourself into the situation where Evo can just pick the Thresh, and then you can never really walk up. If Lulu makes a mistake, she dies. She gets hooked. They put a trap down. She gets popped, and they were always on the back foot in that lane. And I think also starting Cull, if anything,
Yeah,
you
that
want to start Doran's Blade in that matchup.
100%.
Actually, I need
Alright,
to stop.
we're in.
We're going straight.
We're in. Let's go. We're ready. Drafting. Wukong Bang. Okay. A lot of teams saying, listen, yes, we saw some stuff in the previous game, but still not, you're not getting Wukong. And Evo also not going to change. I don't expect Evo to change anything from their bans or from their pick ban because they won. You know, a lot of the time when you win, you don't change anything. You're like, cool, let's just run it back and do the same thing.
I
You know,
mean,
so volley ban, Shyvana ban.
I
Okay.
mean, they might look at banning the Caitlyn away just so that.
Yeah. I mean, they banned Ashe the previous game, right? And to set up for the Caitlyn ban.
Oh,
Okay. Now you should ban Caitlyn. If you're Evo here, just ban the Caitlyn. Yeah.
there
Then no one gets AD carry.
I mean, Israel is still the next best pick in my opinion.
Yeah, Israel is definitely Israel, and then maybe Aphelios, Kaiser. You know, there's a lot of champions in that A tier in my opinion. But you know, those two are, in my opinion, the strongest. Israel, I would probably say, is still a little bit better. But you
I
know,
feel
now Malphite's not banned. They just go back, run it back with a Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw first pick is kind of oof. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think picking it first is like, I don't know if it's that high of a prio.
I mean, what other lane do you pick? Let's be real now. I mean, if you look at it, Top Hat kind of had a good lane last time because he got to pick. Actually, the Ornn was picked last as well. So I don't know, but now we have the same thing where we're gonna pick Thresh straight away, and we're gonna look at probably potentially like a Thresh. Ooh,
Oh, Thresh Kalista, okay. So
Talk
Petard
about
going straight into that, and that's an aggro bot lane. Like, you don't want them to get ahead, because the difference is they can pull the trigger. It's not Caitlyn this time. It's not they have to fish for a hook. It's now like, we go right now, I press R, throw in the Thresh, and if they hit the Kog'Maw, that Kog'Maw's dead. So we'll see if a LoL team just decides, listen, we're going to go for the Lulu again. Oh, okay, Leona. That's kind of counterintuitive.
It's not a bad pick at all, I don't think. Look, I think Thresh is sort of a soft counter to Leona, but I think being able to lock up the Kalista is a really good idea.
Yeah, but like, don't pick that. Don't pick Lee Sin. Don't pick Lee Sin. Ekram isn't bad, but again, like, you're locking people in place with Leona ult, right? And then you're spreading them out with Ekram ult. And the thing is, you're not going to play very aggressive with Kog'Maw bot lane, so picking something like Leona, I'm just not a fan of. If that was like Lucian Leona, or like something that can pull the trigger and be like, okay, we're fighting right now, I would have liked it more. And again, like, Thresh can just flay the Zenith Blade from Leona, and in someone like Shunshin, who showed the previous game, he's very proficient on Thresh, is probably just gonna. Then a Nocturne pick.
I don't disagree with that. Like,
I
think
like the
it's
Nocturne.
to assassinate the Kog'Maw straight away. We do see Shen being taken away. I do tend to agree with you right now. I do feel like a League of Legends team are getting totally outdrafted right now. We did expect the Vlad ban as well, but you know, you pick your Kog'Maw and they have an answer for you. Thresh, Kalista. They just picked a powerhouse bot lane. It's a really
Yeah.
strong early game versus a really weak early game. And my one point of interest that I really would like to point out is we're still picking the Hecarim. We could have potentially started with the Hecarim pick because I
Yeah.
very much doubt Petar's going to turn around and pick Kog'Maw straight off the bat.
I don't think there's any world where Eva picks Kog'Maw into a LoL team, because they don't want to scale, right? They're the team who won the previous game, so they feel confident. They're like, cool, you need to come get the win, because we will just out lane you and out rotate you. So if we're not going to pick stuff that scale, you know, and then you trying with the same scaling thing, and we saw by the end of the previous game that Kog'Maw was sitting on a Borg and like nothing else really. So, and a Malphite pick again. I mean, the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm like, Evo is just like press R, go, kill, you know. And I don't know what they're gonna do on the side of a LoL team. They can't pick Vigo. And okay, Poppy.
Poppy's a good pick into this team.
Top
Poppy's a
Hat is
very
also
good pick.
very good at Poppy.
I just think that a League of Legends team potentially look. We are giving them a lot of slack right now, like a lot of
Yeah.
flack right now. But I do think as well, if you're opting for this Cogmore pick, they definitely should have vouched to rather go red side and just
Yeah.
play it again. And then at least you now get a counter pick in a lane. Right now, the biggest counter pick we've managed to see is Poppy.
Yeah, Poppy is not a bad pick. I don't think it does a lot to stop their stuff. But like, if you prematurely just bait out Poppy, like her shield that blocks everything, or W, then like they just dive on you right after that. So I think it's a very good intuition or that a Silas pick.
Dude, this game is
Ooh.
over.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the really salty caster that turns around and says, you know, this
yeah,
is literally a bad form of salty runback coming through from a League of Legends team where we're now picking like triple scaling again. We pick Hecarim, we pick Victor, we pick Cogmore again. Poppy's not exactly a powerhouse, so we're not really gonna counter her, but you pick triple scaling again
yeah. Where's
into
your winning lanes?
an early bot lane, a Malphite. Not to mention the fact that you pick triple scaling and you pick two of the most immobile champions in the game, being Victor
Yeah.
and Cogmore, into
Into
Malphite.
diving.
Oh,
Plus Silas. I mean, like, where's your prio? You know, where's your winning lane? That's what I'm looking at a LoL team's draft, right? Clearly, they're heavily focused on the Cogmore. That is their win condition. But I'm like, where are you winning any lane? Like, you're not winning bot lane. Not into this bot lane is heavily favored towards Evo. Mid lane, okay, it is a little bit of a skill matchup, but it still favors the Silas. I'm pretty sure. Top lane is whatever, but like, where are you winning lanes? How are you gonna get prio? How can you get another Doug to actually do anything? You're not gonna be able to, because he's gonna get beat on the same way he was the previous game, with not just doing whatever the hell he wants. Because you can't get prio in your lanes. Like, if Victor, as soon as one item is completed, and if he goes down a lot of CS like he did the previous game, Jonel is just gonna all in him whenever he sees it. And
Look,
it's just gonna feel bad.
I do feel like this game shouldn't be exactly the same as the previous game. I don't entirely agree with you that they have no lane prior. I do feel like Victor should actually be perfectly fine into Silas,
Early, yes.
provided he doesn't get hooked early or anything along those lines. I do think Silas and Victor, the matchup's actually not that bad for Victor. And I do feel like if a League of Legends team really want a chance in this game, they need to look for an early invade to get vision early, and they need to split the map. Because
Yeah.
Poppy is going to win the lane against Malphite, like hands down. It's not a difficult lane for Poppy. I think Victor early is going to have the push, and I think looking to either catch this Nocturne, just like we saw last night in FlyQuest vs C9, catch the Nocturne out early and just
Yeah.
don't let
punish.
him get into the game. Your bot lane are going to have to just suck it up. The Leona pick for me, I can understand you want this kill lane, but sadly, I'm like Leona following up on the Cogmore and then picking the other three scaling. I feel like at this point you got to pick a side. You got to pick a side that you're going to leave out to dry and focus on the other side. And
Yeah.
I don't think picking this bot lane to carry the game for you is a particularly good idea, just because they are going to get absolutely stomped in terms of Nocturne's going to look to go there, Malphite's going to look to go there, and Callista and Thresh as a lane together are just so oppressive that if they don't manage to get sort of like a decent trade off early, I feel like Patar is literally just going to take over this lane.
Yeah, but mentioning the mid lane again, right? Yes, Alcatraz has prio early. As soon as Nocturne hits 6, Victor dies if he goes up or halfway up the lane. He just dies. Nocturne ult plus Silas E, you're dead. How are you getting away from that, right? You're gonna expend flash. Cool. Now you flash the one time. 180 seconds later, he ganks you again, and you can't really ever have prio. You're gonna have to freeze the wave kind of around your tower, otherwise you're just gonna die. And that is if Unsenshin, like he did the previous game, doesn't just decide to walk up in your lane and come and ruin your day. So yes, early you will have some prio, and I agree. You have to go and punish this Nocturne, because if he gets ahead, this game is over. and it already looks very hard. But now you're like, cool, we need to be proactive early, because if we're not, the game is just over.
Okay, and awesome. And with that, guys, we're just going to take a quick 5-minute break while we let the players load into game. Well, not 5 minutes, just like a couple minutes break, and then we'll be right back.
Cool. Just think about it.
Hello and welcome everybody back to Game 2 of a League of Legends team versus Evo Gaming. We just watched a spectacular performance put on by Evo Gaming in game number 1, where they basically just walked completely over a League of Legends team. And we're looking at a little bit of like a salty run back here in terms of team composition from a League of Legends team, whereas we do see Evo picking a very, very, very heavy diving composition. I don't know if Jan, you want to
Yeah.
take it away?
Yeah, it's a lot of go buttons. You know, a lot of teams can sometimes struggle with. Okay, they have this lull in the mid game where they're like, cool, they're not pulling the trigger, they're just sitting around doing nothing. What we see about Evo is, you're out of position, you die. We have Nocturne, we have Malphite, we have Callista R. If we see you and you're not where you're supposed to be, you're just dead. And it's a feels bad man. And we see a LoL team just running back, kind of, in my opinion, some counterintuitive picks, you know? Like we said in the cars. I do not really agree with what they're doing, but they must be comfortable on the Hecarim and on the Cogmore, because they just repicked it again. And like we said in the pregame as well, is if they don't punish this Nocturne early, it's going to be a lot of the same of the previous game. They didn't punish the Shyvana building AP and only becoming a champion at level 6. And what happened is Shyvana was hitting people for half the HP bars. You know, the difference here is no invade and stuff, so we actually see the game starting on even footing. And hopefully, you know, a LoL team can just get their bearings before anything crazy happens.
I actually think no invade is a huge mistake coming through from a League of Legends team. Oh, we do see Yonel gonna take a turret shot. He's actually getting taken quite low, but he already was level 2, hitting the level 2 way before the Victor. I do think Not made a really good decision here, deciding to go into the top side of his jungle first. Oh, we do see Death Sentence landing onto Hard Rock. He's getting taken very low. Knight's coming up. Tar jumped the wrong way though. He is gonna get the kill though. Oh, and that's just a sign of things to come in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's already Flash heal burnt in bot lane, and only Ignite burn from Evo. And now again, you're sitting with his Skogmore, gonna fall behind again. Now he doesn't have any support in bot lane. Like, you're never gonna get to this point where, like, they get you actually scale up. Alcatraz is walking up. Hello? What are you doing?
Did he just lag out? Oh, he's baiting into the
No.
head. Meanwhile, another dog gonna come. Oh, the flash fails, so they do trade 1-for-1 there. Favorable trade for Jonel. But this bot lane just playing with so much aggression. It must be said that Patar playing with so much confidence, he's not even taking heal in either of these games. Did decide to take exhaust in both games.
But again, having exhaust. Like, Hecarim tries to run at you, little kitty up on you. He doesn't kill you anymore. You have exhaust. You exhaust out most of the damage. You kite him out. And he can't just one-shot you and get to that position. And Isolation is just being a menace. He might die here.
You see a little turnaround, yeah, but he does have flash up. He isn't a flash away. Patar or Buttered Toast does get exhausted. Are they going to be able to turn this around? Here comes another Doug. He might be able to get the double kill here if he's in time, but he just...
He's timed out.
Slow.
That just feels bad, man.
See it, Ignite Smite, Hecarim, no ghost. Oh, kills my soul, man.
And, you know, that's twice now. Second time in this game where another Doug is being proactive. He's doing the right thing, but the team is fighting just before he gets there. In mid lane, cool, you're baiting, and I get that, Alcatraz, but don't bait that early. He's already pushed up. You don't need to walk up and just die.
It definitely looked like a little bit of a misplay from Alcatraz there. Ooh, top hat taking Evo really low. Is that for the shield? I'm a little bit behind you, I think. I'm just going to go forward.
I think. I'm at 27, 28, 29,
Cool.
30.
There we go. I should be on the same time as you. Oh, we
He just hit him with
getting flashed on by Not. They're gonna see if they can turn around onto the Nocturne. Nocturne going to take quite low, but another Doug is here again. They're gonna manage to get onto Patar. Patar flashes just in time. He has been ignited though. Can they get Not as well? He's running for his life, but they're not gonna be able to get him. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Jonel trying to trade out with Alcatraz. Alcatraz clearly winning this trade, but he will turn around with the Kingslayer and get that HP back.
Yeah. And right now, a LoL team's like saying, hey, put some respect on my name. You know, you might have killed us a couple of times, but you're not just going to walk over me. And another Doug being like, hey, respect my pony. I'm going to run over you. And you're looking at Hecarim who's 2-0 for now. You know, and that can be very scary for Evo if he gets too far ahead.
Oh, a lot of emote spamming going on in the mid lane. Ooh, top hat getting taken very low. Needs to be a little bit careful here. Top hat should be getting 6 before the Malphite, if I'm not mistaken. He should be close to 6, so he might look for the that trade just came in time. I was gonna say he might look for the all-in, but he is a little bit low. He does
Malphite is low in mana.
Oh, he doesn't have any stacks left in his corrupting potion. Ooh, he needs to be very careful because Malphite is still close to 6, regardless.
I don't think he has a mana.
He is 6 now. He's got 100 mana. He's gonna go for the all-in.
Oh, he does have the 100 mana. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, you just can't see the pop. Oh, he's gonna go for it. Oh, top class flash. Top hat outplaying special so hard.
Top hat's like, dude, I saw that coming, and then the spam. Very well done. Top hat's like, dude, you can't just beeline towards me. And it's weird to see because Cookie, or formerly known as Cookie, Evo Special, a very, very well-known Malphite player. You know, you have 2 of probably the most well-known Malphite players in Evo, and one of the other most well-known Malphite player in Hard Rock. So, you know, they saw that coming. It's like, cool, you can't just run at me. I know you're gonna try and ult me.
Top hat also used to play a lot of Malphite, so there's a lot of Malphite players in this game. There's a lot of emote spamming. Look, I think this game is going obviously a lot better for League of Legends team right now. I do think they still need to look to try and split the lane here. We do see Jonel going very aggressive onto Victor. Surprised he hasn't taken a hold of the Victor ulti just yet. Because I do feel like there is potential for him to one-shot this Victor right now with the Victor ulti. And the Knockman ulti, which is coming in the next couple of seconds. I'm going to give the caster's curse here. Ooh.
They might fuck another dog.
Oh, he's gonna be. Is he gonna use Onslaught of Shadows to get away? Another Doug getting taken very low. Is he gonna see if he can turn it around? Oh, Paranoid does come out, and another Doug ulting away just a little bit too late there.
Yeah, what I was thinking is probably Jonel just holding onto the ult and a fight bot lane and dive.
With another death sentence, Ignite does come out, heal as well, but it's not gonna be enough to save.
They're fighting everywhere.
Ooh, Not's coming back. Hard Rock looking to see if he can make a play. Ooh, it was actually Alcatraz's ulti that had been stolen before, and Jonel getting taken very low. He does flash and get the Ignite. That's going to be Jonel falling.
It's crazy fights everywhere around the map. It's like, listen, this is not SA League. This is LBL, and we fight everywhere.
I also really like the fact that we're seeing Alcatraz on a champion where he does actually have some power in the lane. I know I did speak about Victor being a sort of a scaling champion, but at least Victor is able to trade and he is able to be sort of a dominant force in this lane because Yonel did opt to pick a melee champion into him. It is very hard to play melee champs into Victor just because he has such an easy way of poking you out.
Yeah, and if Victor gets ahead, if Alcatraz gets ahead on the Victor, like this all of a sudden becomes very hard for Jonel to play. Like, yes, you can try and all in him, but Victor can get to the point where he 2v1s. And as long as Hecarim is kind of roundabout there, like, it becomes very hard for Evo to play around the lane. You know, so as long as they keep coordinated, a LoL team is very much still in this game. The only thing they have to watch out for... Oof. Okay, he's just going to walk it out. The only thing they have to watch out for is the CS gap in bot lane, because it is not pretty. You know, that is already a 30 CS lead, again, in the favor of Pitar. And he's just flexing that Croatian muscles right now, saying, listen, if you don't respect my lane, if you know, want to just sit and farm, I'm not going to let you do that. Also sitting on 3 kills, you know, they not playing around here in bot lane.
No, I do tend to agree with you. I do think Hard Rock making a play happen in the mid lane did end up costing his AD carry his life in the end. I think Buttertoast did need to back away from them, but he did end up losing like 2 waves under the tower as well because of that dive coming through from Pitar. And the Thresh. That name though, every time I see it, I'm too scared to even try to pronounce anything.
If Robot Girl's here, she's German. I'm pretty sure it's I Shenshin. Or Kyle must tell us, because he can also say it. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. I think it means...
It's like Hishenshin,
squirrel.
But with E. Squirrel!
Yeah. I think it means squirrel in German.
Stop that, you're gonna get caught out now, and I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes, is he gonna get dodging out very easy, and Top Hat gonna give some gold over to Pitar, and I mean, at this point they're just like they're just ATMs. They're just like, hey, don't worry, just Pitar, you look like you're having a rough game, you know, it's gonna be something.
Yeah.
You know, threshold getting taken quite low. I do like the fact that they did look for the early lane swap, although Top Hat did end up dying, and they are going to give away this gold to Pitar, and he is going to get even further ahead. They do need to look to make a play in the top lane, and I do wonder why the Hecarim is not in the top lane currently, forcing down the tower like Evo Not is. Clearly with the superior jungle pathing, you can just see it.
Yeah, so, fight in mid lane, they're just fighting all over it. Okay, now it's gonna onslaught of shadows out. You know, this is a smart swap. I like it as well, for the side of a LoL team. But if you're swapping lanes, another Doug should be shadowing this lane. He should have been around top side, being available for a dive or any sort of thing like that, and just to push down the tower. If you force Malphite off the tower, then they can out. But now they're setting up to die. Kill the top lane.
And Paranoia's up. I feel like this is going to be double kill in the top lane. Directed camera wants us to look at the Rift Herald though.
We don't care about Rift Herald.
Oh, looking to see if we can pick up another Doug. Another Doug's going to go down. Yanel's going to pick up that Rift Herald for himself. They're going to dive. 100% they're going to dive in the top lane. Or Victor's going to get caught out in the river, which also...
Now they have Rift too. They can just pop this Rift top lane and, you know, kill both of them.
Alcatraz so brave walking... Oh, I don't know, you know... I don't know if it's brave or stupid, but walking into the river without flash as a victor against
Yeah.
Malphite and Nocturne. Ooh. I don't
And like
know.
I said, they're setting up for the dive, but Buttertoast and Hard Rock's like, listen, we out, we see you coming, we'll just give up the tower. But they are walking back. I don't know what they're gonna do about this 4-man push with Rift Herald. Like, you're not gonna get anything here. You might just want to catch
I
away.
wouldn't be surprised if they look to dive onto the Kog'Maw and the Leona after this.
100%.
I mean, I'm hoping Evo don't all show straight away. Oh, they are going to show straight away. Okay, Alcatraz did manage to back in time. They are going to get the second charge off. Ooh,
Okay.
Hard Rock in a bad spot. Looking to see if he can do something. He's going to manage to get away. We do see Kog'Maw getting absolutely deleted by the Paranoid, but another Doug is on his way.
Oh, Alcatraz?
Get an, oh, dude,
Directed camera.
taking his way. Alcatraz trying to get onto the Thresh. Thresh also going to get taken away. I think Yonel wins this fight as well, but gets thrown away.
Yeah, with the
Oh
sustain.
my god, the death sentence lands
look.
onto Alcatraz and Patar is here. Oh, and Patar is just so scary at this point. Hard Rock opting in for a Zenith Blade that he really doesn't.
Oh,
Another
a
death
shit
sentence
chin.
coming through and another Doug. Oh, does Patar have the
Get him.
strength up? Gonna flash.
Oh, no shadows, no guys.
Alcatraz is the next one. Is this gonna be the triple kill?
Oh. Pataj is having a field day right now. You know, a lot of good like
Ooh, the TP
Initiative.
comes from top end
Oh.
get the kill, but I think
Get
I
him,
think we'll
Popey.
get out. Oh,
Yeah.
you hate to see it. You hate to see it.
I mean, you see some initiative there, you know, some signs of life in the LoL team. Taking the initiative, picking the fight. But it's a little late now. You're 6k gold behind. Patar already is on Borg plus Berserker Greaves. You're sitting in a position where it's like, okay, how do we win a fight? Kog'Maw is again super far behind, only sitting on his Bilge Water Cutlass. You're, okay, cool. Your Victor's looking a little scary and can do damage, but there's nothing to follow up with that. You know, you just see teams die. Another Doug having to use these Onslaught of Shadows to get out instead of going in. And yeah, it's just looking dire for them, even though there were some signs of life.
Ooh, an Evo special, after having a little bit of time alone, starting to just absolutely fully top that out of this game now.
I mean, how do you get back in this game? Again, it's that thing is like, okay, cool, play around. Oh, what's going on here?
Another Doug
Haven't
getting
seen killed.
caught out, and Thresh actually currently 1v1ing him quite easily. We do see Alcatraz looking to see if he can make a play here, but he also needs to be careful that the death sentence doesn't land on him.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to play around the Victor here, right?
I
Because
feel like you have to try
Buttertoast
and
still not online.
you have to make a pick, and your Kog'Maw is not going to be your saving grace. But Victor with Ignite against this sort of comp for me is just such a high variance sort of champion, because I feel like if you decided to opt for the cleanse, rather, you could maybe get away from the Nocturne clear. You could survive a death sentence, but right now, Victor kind of has the same problem that Kog'Maw has, where he can't really walk up ever without dying against this comp.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you pick off? You kind of have to pick off the Nocturne, right? Because everything else is kind of just gonna run away from.
Well, I
You
mean,
might- You can pick off what?
he can pick off Patar. Remember, Victor,
you can.
Victor does slow with all of his skills now. Well, he does now. Oh,
But you have to. Oh,
they're gonna go straight on
Doug is
the
dead.
again. Yeah, you see now that's what? That's like a 2000 HP Hecarim. Or
Yeah,
Hard Rock in a bad spot. He's just gonna
yeah.
pop the solar flare. He's gonna get taken out. The Patar, not
Oh,
really
Patar!
using it. Oh my god, he
That is
actually
a huge
died.
shutdown that went over to Buttertoast. And that's what they needed, actually. I mean, even though they traded 2 people for it, now currently going to be 3.
Kog'Maw's gonna die. Oh, not gets the kill.
Alcatraz?
Can he
He's
avoid
gonna-
it? It's so low. Does
He
get
does.
thrown in the end. Whew.
Holy, okay.
Definitely a more competitive game this game, I think.
Definitely, you know, they're actually punching back. The problem is they're just falling behind in farm. Again, mainly Buttertoast. It's just falling behind. They're falling behind on objectives. Now you have some static gold, meaning like your turrets. You know, that is gold that is there for the taking. But how are you pushing out these lanes? You can't really push out anything because they'll just dive and kill you. So I don't know. It just makes it very hard. Alcatraz can sit in the side lane, but if not ever decides to show up, that's just a dead Vixen.
I feel like a League of Legends team's only real option they have right now is to kind of like channel their inner Fnatic and just kind of, you know, do what Fnatic always used to do with Reckless, where you just let him sit in the top lane and just sort of soak up CS until he gets to a point where he's actually able to carry the game. And they
Yeah.
should technically be looking to do that with their Kog'Maw, but where do you send your Kog'Maw to farm?
Exactly.
There's a Malphite, there's a Nocturne. Like, there's no lane that he can really win. Meanwhile, we see Alcatraz getting taken very low, and I don't see him escaping this. I mean, Unstoppable Force is going to come out in a couple seconds. And will Special be able to survive? Is my
Does
question.
not have
He's gonna look
flash.
for ulti,
He's
and
dead.
Alcatraz
Sure.
is going to die.
Maybe if Alcatraz had flash there, you could flash the ult and keep on kiting him, but that just wasn't the case. And
feel like he-
Evo, yeah.
Yeah. He shouldn't have recalled in the bush. I feel like he should have
Yeah.
tried to keep putting distance between him and the Malphite. Maybe he could get another rotation of spells out.
Yeah. Hardrock just walking down, yeah. I mean, he's just gonna walk away. And a
Meanwhile,
top
Top
hat.
caught out, and he's going to use the Poppy ult.
Yeah.
This is just turning into a complete solo queue game.
Yeah. See, Evo rightly saw that, okay, cool. Our Silas can't answer Victor in a side lane. But you know what can? A big rock boy. And they just send Cookie there, it's like, cool, he can't burst you down. Yeah, so you just go bot lane. And now, you know, it's looking, oh! Another duck, can he make something happen?
Oh, onslaught of shadows onto Butter. So
Double
he's
ult
going to get killed straight away. Oh, the ignite does come out. And that's going to be a double kill going over to another Doug, but at what cost? Another Riftfield goes across.
Yeah. And I mean, they're probably just going to use this, crash it in mid, and then you're looking at the base is available again. You know, at least, you know, their sieging is a little bit harder on the side of Evo, seeing as they only have one range champion. So it's a little bit harder, but also not really. You know, Alcatraz, you know, he's got some wave clear, but, you know, we'll have to see if they can actually do anything about this.
I feel like it's really funny that you talk about sieging in a comp that has Nocturne.
Yeah, they're just going to
Malphite,
dive the
and
towers.
Silas.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just going to look to fight around objectives, which is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're probably going to pick up this next Drake that spawns. I think maybe did they just pick up the Drake? I'm very confused. I thought Drake was spawning. Oh,
Do you not have objective timers on?
No, clearly not.
Drake is spawning in
Oh.
50 seconds.
You learn something new every day. I can turn that
Yeah.
on. Nice.
So yeah, they're probably not gonna look to like outright siege. They'll probably just try and dive the towers. There's always risk involved in that.
Ooh,
And
Patar-
ABC top hat.
Ooh, we do see Top Hat going on to Patar. Gonna ulti away the wrong person, forced to flash away, but he's just gonna get picked up for free.
Yeah, that feels bad, man.
Alcatraz forced to flash just before this dragon. You know, like that's something that you really don't want to lose.
Oh, Special?
Alcatraz getting absolutely destroyed by Special. Meanwhile, Jonel, they do try and get the Victor ulti out. They are going
Okay,
to
Jonel's dead.
so much damage coming out from the side of the Victor. But we are going to see another Doug, seeing if he can get it. But he's also going to get taken out. And death sentence isn't
Yeah.
going to land.
I mean, they're fighting back. It's not like the previous game where it's just like Evo literally running over them. But these trades are still not favorable. You know, it's a 3-4-2, and almost. Oh, it was actually a 4-4-2. And now, how are you stopping the siege? You know, this and look how up Toys play.
So aggressively looking
Yeah.
to get top hand. Here comes the Cogmore.
I
Really
mean, he's 7-4-2. He's not scared of anything right now.
playing very overconfident in my opinion at the moment, even though he did survive that.
I mean, he gets that wrong. He doesn't have exhaust up. He gets that wrong, and another Doug plus Alcatraz get on him. That's a dead Callisto, you know. So he must be careful not to get overzealous in wanting to finish the game out too quickly. Maybe see top, but no, don't face shake, please. Oh, okay, he gets on.
Patar forced to flash away, almost gets taken up, but Alcatraz getting taken up by the Paranoia. Death sentence. Oh my god, landing onto the
Holy.
destroyed. Another Doug trying his best to see if he can shut down Patar, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and now it's a lonely hard rock.
Ugh.
And that's just Baron in game right now.
Are
I
they
mean,
gonna go Baron and they're not just gonna push down mid and in?
I mean, they could probably just have ended. They do have a wave coming in, but they're rather gonna go for the safe approach. Take the Baron, take the Dragon.
Trying to run away from the Hecarim is probably not the best idea.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're probably just gonna reset after getting both of these objectives. Just reset and walk it down mid. I mean, how does a LoL team stop them right now. Alcatraz clearly doing very well, but like just not good enough when you have a 1-for-7 or 1-for-6 people in the bot lane. It feels bad when you're a Cogmore and you have a Nocturne, Silas, plus a Malphite. You know, if you don't have flash up, you're just dead.
But I mean, that's why we don't pick the Cogmore first.
Yeah.
I also have to look at it as, you know, like, I can kind of respect. I saw Alcatraz holding an Amplifying Tomb and a Ruby Crystal, and I thought it was going to be straight into Morello's
Yeah.
after he did his Victor standard item. But
Lich Bane.
he ended up, he wants to build into Lich Bane, which I can kind of agree with to a certain extent, where you can trade with Pitar and potentially one-shot the Callista.
Yeah.
But with the amount of healing coming through from the Silas, I really feel like this game, at the end of the day, for me, I wouldn't have played the Victor with the Ignite. Like, I feel like you're playing into melee matchup. You should have taken TP in this matchup. You should have got your sort of lane kingdom and your control, so you know you can take trades with him early, force him out of lane, and then you can end up ahead of him in CS just because you had the TP. We didn't see that this game, and the Silas actually managed to stay even, and now the Silas is becoming a massive problem in this game.
100%. And you know, not having that TP like you mentioned just makes it odd because now the fact that he is melee is not being punished. You know, because he can just okay. He was just walking it on mid.
Paranoid, they just instantly delete button toast. Meanwhile, Onslaught of Shadows goes on to another duck. He's going to take him reload. Top Hat's going to get picked up. Hard Rock against four doesn't stand a chance. And
dive! Oh, that's a dead. That's a dead Alcatraz.
He deleted. Does manage to get the stun off. Didn't even.
Another dog. Can he do something?
Oh, Janelle just healing far too much.
Oh, the exhaust. Oh, he gets one. But I think that's probably just going to be GG.
Yeah.
No, and GG, well played to Evo. You know, a clean 2-0. Game 2 was a lot closer. I feel like a lot of the team from Evo played a little bit more disrespectfully, a little bit more up in their face, and took a lot of fights in initiative. But at the end, Evo's like, listen, there's a reason we ended third in Prem. There's a reason we're considered a top team and a team to look out for. And this is why. And then they just, you know, went and slapped them around a little bit.
Yeah, it's just one of those games you hate to see it, you know. First picking Cogmore in both games, it immediately telegraphs what you're planning on doing in the game. And like I said, I feel like the small decisions that were made in Champion Select, like putting the Victor on Ignite, I mean, Hecarim also having Ignite, there's no real need to have both, in my opinion. I feel like Victor could have had a lot more power in this game if he took the TP and looked to make the plays and looked to kind of build up his CS and end up building a big enough lead on the Silas, because we could see in those fights Victor was actually doing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And then also opting to go the build that he went, in my opinion, was kind of like a bad idea. Even though in a lot of those team fights we just saw Malphite and Nocturne just diving onto the Cogmore every single fight. The Cogmore was 1-for-8. I feel like it must be said that from Evo's side, they should have decided at one point in the game that, look, Cogmore is not a threat anymore. Let's pile on the Victor. I feel like Alcatraz got let off quite easy this game afterwards because they forced his flash out, and then immediately the next team fight they go on the Cog, and I was like, but the Cog is already 1-7. You don't need to rather kill the Victor and just, you know, start deleting the other carry because you're so far ahead in this game. And there was some shining light for them, I think. I think a League of Legends team, you know, after their first game definitely stepped up. And I do think that against teams like GG and other teams like that, I think they do stand a chance. I know
100%.
you won't see Strider, no offense to him, you won't see Strider doing what Pitar and this guy whose name I'm never going to get right, maybe by the end of the
His thresh was very clean.
They just dominated.
You know, I'm just surprised, honestly. I think a LoL team need to go back and like reevaluate drafting. I feel like drafting is where stuff lacked heavily. Like they got to pick. I'm pretty sure they picked sides game 2. Why are you picking blue side if you're not taking anything away? Like if you're gonna first pick Cog, go red side. Like, there's no reason, because at least then you get a counter pick. You know, so that it was, yeah, like Patar just went off. He's like, listen, guys, there's a reason I was a challenger player. Get on my back and let's just go. But that it has to be said, like the whole of Evo just looked good, and there's a reason they are favored to be one of the top teams in this tournament, and you know, they showed it tonight. So I'm very impressed by how they played, and I'm impressed by LoL team. If they can fix their drafting weird style and like just fix like their comping, there's no reason I don't see them taking games off top teams. The confidence is there, and you can see they were hitting back. They were hitting back, but you know, it just Patar just went crazy, in my opinion.
I definitely agree with you. I definitely think the bot lane for a League of Legends team looking really shattered, like looking really weak. And I think going away from this game, what a League of Legends team should look at is, you know, don't I'm not gonna say turn around and blame those players entirely, but rather try and look to play the map through your top side. Look to
Yeah,
put Top Hat on something that he can actually crush lane in, because we actually saw him doing incredibly
like
well
a
in both
meal or something.
games.
Yeah,
And then give Alcatraz, like we saw in this game, give him some lane power, give him something where this is also another player that used to be Diamond. We saw him in scouting grounds playing mid
yeah,
lane, absolutely taking names and destroying everyone. Give him champions that he can do that on. I know he used to be very proficient in things like Ari and that. Now I'm very interested as to like pick champions like that. If you know you have to deal with players like Patar, pick something like that. Pick something where
yeah.
you can catch them by surprise and force them into like take the game in your own hands. And I really feel like you need to do that.
You
You
know,
know,
and I feel like you can't even blame the bot lane of a LoL team. How much of that was them struggling and picking wrong, and how much of that was just Patar taking over? You know, because yeah, they gave him a lot of free lanes, which is not very. I don't think very smart. Yes, if you look at his rank, you're like, cool, he outranks us. So we don't want to really pick anything that you know fights with him. But you know, you have to give him some resistance. You can't just let him have a free lane and have I shouldn't just death sentencing you to death, literally. You know, just hooking you in and bringing you closer to your death the whole time. It yeah, it just made it enormously hard for a Butter Toast to ever get going in any of these games. You know, you saw Hard Rock trying to make a play mid. What happens? They dive bot. Like it just makes it like almost impossible. But you know, then you had you know, if you put him on an Israel, maybe you know he can get away from these things and farm safely and get to that point eventually where he has a little earlier power spike. But yeah, I just feel like you know Evo just played very very well.
no, I couldn't agree more with you at all. I do think a League of Legends team just like kind of like cutting their bot lane off by the knees with those picks. I mean, especially in the second game, like I can respect the Leona pick. You're trying to get on the players, you're trying to do some damage, but like at the end of the day, like maybe that's the turnaround. The first game they try to play a passive lane, they got destroyed. The second game they're trying to pick something a little bit more aggressive. But then why do you pick the Cogmore of any?
Yeah,
Like you're looking for this
and
late
even
game
MF.
insurance policy that ended the game. I don't even think he got 100 CS by the end of the game. Whereas Patar, complete Flame Horizon, just absolutely dumpstered that lane.
Yeah, it ended on 99 CS, so good call. Close, he was close, you know. But yeah, it just I think Evo just goes, or not Evo, sorry, a LoL team just goes, reevaluates this and say, okay, cool, this is where we messed up. Maybe we rewatch the game. Okay, maybe give him like even if they picked MF Leona bot lane, at least at 6, you know, you can alt and fight a little bit, you know. But it just felt like it was dead from the start for them. Like, yeah, 100%.
Okay, awesome. So we do actually have the man of the hour, Patar, who my MVP is definitely going to, and his captain, Mr. Steven, not joining us. Um, they should be able to unmute their microphones and talk to
Yeah.
us if they
Hello.
want.
Hello.
Hello. Not you, still
Not
muted.
unmute yourself on Discord.
Hold on. Oh, there we go. There we go.
There
How's
you
it?
go.
How's it?
How's it? How was your game?
Oh, it was. I was looking for my binoculars half the time. That's it.
Okay. Looking for the competition or?
Yeah, yeah,
I
What?
was looking when they will miss position again, you know.
Like, I have a very simple question first of all. Just when it came to draft, when I thought it was very telegraphed that you're gonna pick the Caitlyn first when you banned Ash. It was pretty obvious. Okay, cool. Ban Ash, pick Caitlyn. But when it was the other way around, game two, you guys, if they banned Ash, you banned Caitlyn, which is the right response, right? If you're red side. And then they first pick Kog'Maw. What went through your head when you just see the Kog'Maw first pick? Did it confuse you,
Uh,
or
I got amused, like got the first draft. Then I just decided to pick an early game AD carry and roll over the lane. Because what I noticed the first game, they don't position themselves well on lane and they don't wave management, right? So you can
Yeah.
abuse that pretty easily. Like there were instances where Kog'Maw would miss 40 CS just because they pushed in at the wrong moment.
yeah? I mean, we just saw that CS gap widen and widen and widen to the point where, I mean, he was sitting on 60, you were sitting on like 120. They weren't like rotating around that like properly at all, and it must have just felt, it looked like it felt for you like you could just walk up and do whatever you want. You know, you walked very disrespectfully, just walked into their base, be like, listen, come fight me if you want to fight me. You
To
know,
be
and
honest, I was inting a bit of the time. There
yeah,
was a lot of the time when I got caught off, and like 5 seconds before that, I told my team, "Listen, guys, we got what we wanted. Let's get out." But then I was like, "Yeah, I want that one auto attack just to make myself feel better, you know." And then I walk in and get stunned, but still, they didn't capitalize on that, so we're good.
Do you know what was
Uh,
actually quite funny was when they lane swapped and we were like, oh damn, they've actually lane swapped for Herald, but it's like no, they actually just lane swapped to get CS.
yeah,
They just
they
needed
let
CS.
just to get away, just to
Yeah,
get away.
yeah, yeah,
And then you guys still ended up getting Tower first and getting Herald either way. So
yeah.
it didn't really end up working
And
out.
a kill.
End of
Yeah,
the
and
day.
you killed APC top at bot as well.
But I mean, you guys have started off so far 4-0 in games played, so 2-0 in matches, not dropping really anything, not looking like you've had much of a challenge in this group. I'm not entirely sure when you guys are meeting Royal. I think it's quite a bit later. Are you guys, with the way you're going at the moment, are you guys super confident when you meet them that it's going to be a good game? Especially after the performance that I saw today, and especially with the fact that you still going to be in the jungle, not when you do meet them?
I'm gonna be in the jungle for the whole of this group stages,
Okay, cool.
most likely. I mean, we
Uh,
could always swap
it,
around. You know, Janelle plays some Eve. We'll see.
in my mind, it will be what it will be whatever will happen. You know, I don't really mind. I'm pretty confident we can beat any team if we stick to our game plan. The only instance where we might lose a game to any team in this league is where we don't respect what we said at the start of the game.
Yeah.
That's one
So
thing I
you,
really noticed with you guys. Sorry to cut you off there,
no,
Spartans,
no.
but
Go.
you guys clearly came in with a plan in these games, and a lot of the time when we see games with the top teams playing against sort of the lower-ish teams, that teams do tend to play to the skill level of their opponent, and I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot at the moment. But you guys
Yeah.
actually just came out and you stuck to the game plan you had, like early Drake control because of your bot lane. Not you played around the bot lane. You played around the bot lane really well, and I think also just the factor that you decided to start topside red, because I thought the only way they'd have a chance in this game was splitting the map with you, completely shut that down. Not that they even really tried.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really expecting to see some more aggression out of you though. Not it's a weird
Yeah.
to see Steven not like
You're scared. Why are you
farming.
playing scared?
I'm playing these hard farming champs though. I mean, like you know, maybe if I pull out a Lease and miss a few Qs, you know, dive under
Oh, we
tower
don't want to
int.
see that.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, also take into account I'm Nocturne with Lethal Tempo. He's Hecarim with Conqueror. I mean, that alone he wins, and
Front
then
Ignite.
plus he has Ignite. I mean,
Yeah.
I somehow managed to 1v1 him at one point as well. I was like, okay, it's a little odd, a little bit weird.
I mean, like moving forward in the tournament, obviously you guys want to end up first in your group. It just makes it easier moving forward. But it's like no jokes to say like your biggest competition will be like GG Royalty in the group and then ATK Era Millennium moving forward. I mean, teams that you've been playing the whole year. You know, and looking at the group, is there anyone else? Have you guys overly prepped for anyone? That's not just me trying to find out, but you know, is there teams that you're obviously looking more like that can upset you, like we saw Nebula upsetting you yesterday? are they teams that you're just like, okay, cool, we need to be cautious here because if we don't do what we're supposed to do, they can upset us and can, throw a wrench into the works.
You see, Spartan, that's our secret. We are never prepared.
We
Ah,
actually just never
okay.
prep for anything, which is the problem.
So if you're never prepared, you just, win.
Yeah, we haven't prepped for any of the games so far.
How
That,
can the
like,
enemy know
you know.
what we're doing if even we don't
If we don't know what we're doing, I was literally in the
Yes,
moment. I was like,
smart.
"Hey, Nocturne looks good," and then Peter was like, "Hey, yeah, Nocturne does look good." And
Yeah,
then John was
just
like, "Wait,
press
what?"
our champions.
Yeah, exactly,
Seemed
exactly.
like you guys were like big brain in the draft, to be absolutely
Yeah.
honest. They did pick into you, but I felt like that was a really decent draft in both games, to be absolutely honest. But I must say, this is quite a big statement, you guys coming out. I know this wasn't necessarily the most competitive bot lane you've ever seen, but considering that GG just dropped a game yesterday and a lot of the performance came from their bot lane being crushed in the first game, I think this sends a massive message out to them that, you guys and Royal are kind of in different league to them at the moment.
Well, I wouldn't know to be sure, but as I stated previously, I'm not really scared of anybody here. So, and neither do I think that my team is.
Well, that's good. That's the attitude you have to have and come in with. Like, you're not going to get anywhere if you're scared of everyone. And even the attitude, and I have to give it to a LoL team. It has to be said, they ended second division, after this leg. So for them to come out and in game two, they did a little better. They did a little better to stick with you and do something at least in game two. For a first division team against a top 3 team in the country, they did pretty well. So there is a lot of promise in that team. It's just about refining and fixing, which I felt was a lot of draft problem.
There is a lot of stuff they have to improve on, right? It might not seem like that much when you're spectating a game like this, but it's all about those micro movement, micro, whatever. There's a lot of stuff that they're doing wrong. Like, it's not for me to flame them right now. That's not my instance. They tried, they did their best. It is what it is. I was shit once as well, it's not that big of
Yeah.
a deal. But it's just the way that you move on a map almost always telegraphs how much game knowledge you have, right? And they did not move correctly. I'm sorry, just the way it is.
Yeah, 100%. Cool. Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna have to say that we should probably wrap it up
Yeah.
right now. But thank you guys so much for joining us. I can't wait to see more of you guys play. I want to see some more spicy jungle picks coming out of Steven. And I mean, I love watching you in lane. I always have, and I always will. So I really, really
Appreciate it.
thank you guys for coming, and I hope you guys have the best of luck. And I'm sure we'll get you on the interview again soon.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Cheers, guys.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thanks for having us, guys. Cheers.
No
Cheers.
problem.
Cool. Are we gonna wrap it up from us as well, or is there something?
I mean, if you want
It's
to, I'm pretty chilled. I think this cast's been pretty successful. I think the games are pretty good to
did
watch.
well. I didn't yell at anyone because our mics were a little scuffed this time. We're getting there, boys. We're going up in the world. We're doing better and better. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up from our side. I'm not sure if Carl wants to play that hype video again. No, he doesn't. So thank you everyone for tuning in. GG well played to both teams who played tonight, putting yourself on showcase. And congratulations to Evo. And yeah, our next cast will be Monday, the 24th of August. It will be Down South Gaming versus Trooper. A very anticipated game. Both teams can fight for that top 4 to get out of group. And yeah, I'm very excited to watch that, man. Yeah.
Wow. I think it's going to be a good one. I'm really excited as well. I just think potentially, Kyle did have a little infographic of the groups there. I don't know if you want to put it back up if we have any of the results so far. But I'm pretty sure we can just time out with some music and you guys can get a quick run through the groups with if Kyle's kind enough, and then we'll be out of here.
Yeah. Have a good weekend, people. Good luck on the Rift.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word.